Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Abena. Thank you for joining again. If you're new here, I post lifestyle, fashion and encouragement videos, and today is more of an encouragement video slash advice video of things that I learned in my early 20s that I want to share with you guys, because I feel like I love hearing from other people. I love hearing from, what people have learned in their lives. I love listening to people's life stories. Like, I am that person at a dinner party that will want to know pretty much anything and everything about your life and what you've learned from it, and then I would want to share my own, because I don't really do small talk. Like, I go straight to the deep stuff, and some people are for it, some people don't like it. Personally, I feel like that's the best way to connect with people. But anyways, this video is going to be all the things that I've learned in my early 20s that I want to share with you. It's 6 tips. They're very kind of practical, doable things that I think will actually improve your quality of life. And obviously I'm only 26, so I'm not like super experienced in this life or whatever, but I feel like I have also got the experience of mistakes that I've made in the past, and also good things that I've done that I want to pass on. So without talking too much, let's get into it. Okay, before I get into this video, if you haven't already done so, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more content coming your way. And also just leave a comment if you kind of think of anything whilst you're watching this, of things that you've done in your early 20s, whether you're 30, 40, 50, in your 20s yourself. Like, please share, because I want to learn from other people, obviously, and I feel like it's a two-way conversation. I want to know what others have done that has really like helped and impacted them on this journey that we call our 20s. So let me know. Okay, so tip number 1 is to build emotional resilience. Okay, in your 20s, like, it is just a rocky, wild, crazy ride, because a lot of things are happening. Like, you go through a lot of emotions, especially because I think everyone is just doing different things and people are on different journeys, and you tend to compare yourself, which you shouldn't do, but we're all human, we've all done it before. And when that comparison sets in, you feel all sorts of emotions, like, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough, like, I'm not worthy, why is this person doing XYZ and I can't even like do what I want to achieve in life. But what I would say is you need to work on your emotional toolkit as early as you can. You might not have heard that before. I actually first heard it from an amazing woman called Bediako, and she talks about having like an emotional toolkit. And basically this toolkit is something that you can go to that is personalized for yourself, where you can go when things go wrong. And I know obviously, like, when things go wrong, it can be really hard to even think about how you can pick yourself back up. But what I will say is just try and figure out the things that help you feel encouraged, that help you feel uplifted, because when things get hard, which they will, because that's life, you need to have that backup, and you need to know yourself to the core so that you can kind of pick yourself back up so you don't stay down for too long. In the same breath, what I will say is use all the support that you can. There's therapy. For me, it was definitely like just strengthening that bond with God and having like prayer time to really make sure that I was going into situations and having that clarity and that peace. And if something went wrong, I feel like I would just cry to God, but also to my family. So if that's an option, then definitely utilize that. But in those moments as well, like, you need to know what works for you without anyone else's input. So for me, for example, I know that when I'm feeling emotionally off, I need to go back to routines, I need to go back to basics, feed myself well, move my body. It can seem really hard in the moment, but I know myself and I know that these are the things that work. So yeah, genuinely, if there's one piece of advice that I could give to anyone, work on your emotional well-being toolkit, because you need it. And this 20s or this life journey, it can be a bumpy ride, lots of ups but also lots of downs. So know how to pick yourself up, because sometimes people aren't going to come and save you, or even if people want to save you, they don't know what it is that you need. But you know yourself better than anyone else, and you need to start developing. I think the thing is, I hate using the word resilience, because I feel like resilience is like you're this super strong person. You don't need to make yourself this super strong person, but what you do need is to know how to self-soothe and how to get yourself from a bad place. And if you don't know, then as I said, please use the tools that you can learn to get you out of that place, whether that's therapy, speaking to other people, speaking to like close friends that you actually trust, praying, whatever it might be. Please utilize them. Tip number 2, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you have a passion, if you have a project, if you have an idea, whatever it might be, please do yourself a favor and go after that idea and just put things in place to make it happen. If you need to ask people for help, ask them for help. Like, Google is free, so like, do all of that stuff. Even with me, with this YouTube, like with the YouTube channel that I have now, I think I started it in like 2020 or 2019, and initially I was like, oh, I want to post fashion content. And honestly, one day I'm going to show you guys the videos that I used to post, and I look back on that girl and I'm like, oh, you know, bless her, because she actually put her best foot forward at the time and she did the best that she could at the time. Now, what I learned from that process is that yes, I definitely want to be on YouTube. Do I want to post just fashion videos? No, because I just feel like I had so much more to say, which is why I'm here today. But I'm glad that I went through that process because it taught me what I needed to learn to be where I am today. So similarly for you, if you've got a passion project, then start now, because even if you fail, you haven't actually failed. Even if you start something and it's not gone how you want it to go, I promise you, whatever you're learning in that process is going to be so invaluable for where you end up. And it's part of the process, it's part of your journey. So don't give up on yourself and just go for it, because honestly, like, in this life, you have to go after anything that's been put on your heart. When you have something placed on your heart, that might be a passion project or just something that you really want to do to you, like something casual, but that could actually be your purpose. It could be the thing that makes someone else think, oh, like, let me go after my passion, let me go after what my purpose is or what I think my purpose is. But that could start with you by doing whatever you need to do and how that impacts other people. You don't put pressure on yourself, but just think about it in terms of like, if I start this now, like, I have no idea where it could lead me, and failure isn't a thing, because as I said, even if you fail, you haven't really failed because of the lessons that you've gained. To start that passion project, start that YouTube channel, start posting more on Instagram if that's what's been placed in your heart, start writing that book, start like doing whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but you do, because you're watching this and you know that you have something in your heart or something that you can give to the world to make an impact in some shape or form. So please don't ignore the signs, go after it, and yeah, see where it can take you, because you literally never know. Now, the third one is one that you've probably heard so many times, and you've heard it a lot of times for a reason, because it is so true. You need to learn how to love your own company, because when you get to a certain age in your 20s, you'll start to realize, like I said at the beginning of the video, that people are doing their own thing. Like, some people might be getting married, some people are having babies, some people are single and they're literally living their best independent life. Some people are climbing the corporate ladder, some people are doing their creative passions. Like, everyone is staying in their own lane. And if you don't learn to love your own company, you're going to start feeling quite needy, because you're now going to feel like, oh, I don't have my own thing, I don't like being by myself, like, let me just find any old company. So you're either going to get quite corrupted, because you're just going to end up hanging out with people that are there for the sake of it, because you don't like to be alone, or you're going to start feeling quite resentful of the people that are doing things in their, you know, own various space. So to avoid all of that, just learn to love your company truly. And if you find that you're having like periods of just feeling quite alone, that's okay. Like, everyone feels like that at some point. Like, I felt like that. I've spoken to friends and they've all said to me, oh my gosh, yeah, like, I've had moments where I felt pretty lonely, and that's okay. In those moments, that's your time to really figure out how you have your own coping strategy. Like, you're such a cool person and you have an amazing personality. That's why people are drawn to you. So learn to love that about yourself and to create a safe space for yourself where you can actually enjoy your own company. And one thing you'll find as well, the moment you start like really owning that and just enjoying your company, you're going to become like a magnet, because people see that, like, yeah, this person has such a cool vibe, like, they're living life, you know, on their own terms. And the people that agree with that life and that vibe, they'll start being like a magnet. They'll start coming to you because they realize, like, you're not someone that just follows the crowd. You know, you've got your own thing going and they're similar in that sense. So like will start attracting like. So you won't even feel alone anymore, because you'll start attracting the right people. But in that process, there'll be a tiny kind of phase where you are kind of alone. You maybe aren't with your friends as much, because like I said, everyone's doing different things, and that is your chance to really enjoy being alone. Like, figure out what you like doing by yourself. Like, who are you without everyone else's opinion, without everyone else's involvement? Like, get to know yourself and have fun with it. Like, it can be quite daunting at start, but I think when you really just start going into it, you'll just fall in love with the process and you'll fall in love with yourself, which ultimately is the goal. And even the bits that you don't like about yourself, you can really like figure out what you want to change about yourself. And even with me, like with the past video that I made, it really was about just having that reinvention process. And you can reinvent yourself as many times as you like, And in that process, you're probably going to find yourself a little bit alone because you need time to think and you need that clarity. And you can't get that clarity if you've got loads of voices in your head, if you've got loads of opinions and loads of people around you. So learn to love your own company so that you can really just hone in on what you want to get out of life, basically, and what you want to become, because trust me, you are worth getting to know. So this one is key for so many reasons, but it's very simple. Learn how to save. If you're not someone that knows how to save, change that today. Okay, look at your budget today and look at how much you can save. Even if it's £10, like, I'm not even joking, even if it's £10, £20, whatever it is, learn to put money away. Okay, it's not about how much, but it's more the habit of being able to say to yourself, I've earned this much, but I want to put this much away. I would say the best way to save is to have a goal, because otherwise you're like, why am I saving? Why am I investing? Like, what is the point? I could just spend this money. I don't know if I want to buy a house in the near future, if I want to buy it in the late future, but I know at one point I will want to buy a house. And so I will need a house deposit. And so what I've been doing, you know, for quite a few years in my 20s is just putting money away each month to save for a deposit, because that's what you need to buy a house. But your goals could be different. You could want to go into investing, you might want to go into property development, you might want to be a homeowner, you might want to be able to, I don't know, start a business or passion project. Either way, you need money to do that. Start saving from early so that when you get to your late 20s, you at least have a cushion. And I think that is such a big aspect of being in your late 20s. Like, life can be so stressful in your 20s because everyone's confused, everyone's trying to figure out what they're doing, people are trying new things, and you don't want to be limited by money. I'm not saying that, like, put tons and tons of money away to the point where you're not living your life and having like a genuinely good life, but put something away so that at least in the back of your head, that's one less thing to worry about. Because honestly, when you have financial stress and financial worries, that can really take a toll on you. Don't put yourself in that position. Start saving from early. I definitely learnt my lesson when I was at university. I used to literally live my best life. I didn't really think about saving. My parents would be like, you need to save. Even my brother, who's such a good saver, he'd always be like, you need to save. And I'd be like, what am I saving for? Like, I literally used to be like, what am I actually saving for? Because I didn't have that long-term vision. I was very complacent and I thought that my lifestyle would just, like, I'd just always kind of scrape by. I'd always make the money that I needed. And yes, there's that side of the equation. However, if you can have a little bit of financial stability, you're just going to have that level of peace that is kind of unmatched. Your problems aren't going to be solved. Let's get that for real. But you are going to be able to make decisions not from a place of like scarcity, if that makes sense. I have an account with Hargreaves and Lansdowne. That's just like an investment account where you can have stocks and shares. Get into all of that. If you're not sure what it is, Google is your best friend. Ask friends that are doing it, because trust me, people are low-key doing it. They might not talk about it, but ask people you trust. Find out on Google like what you can invest in. Sometimes as well, like, you can just be a passive investor. So for me, I'm not like someone that wants to buy stocks and like, I'm someone that wants to be conscientious about my investing. So I put money away each month into this account. I chose the stocks and the markets, sorry, not the stocks, the markets that I want to put them in. And then obviously with that, it will fluctuate, but genuinely you will get your kind of interest over time. That's way more than a savings account. So get clued up on that if you're not sure, and just put some money away. So this is the last tip that I would give to anyone in their early 20s, and that is to stay healthy. Your body is truly a temple, and you need to keep it healthy for so many reasons other than just the physical side. Actually, I don't know if that's fair. I feel like if you want to keep fit and healthy just to look a certain way, that's actually okay too. Just don't let it get to the point where you're obsessive, because that's super unhealthy. But yeah, if you want to maybe have a goal of fat loss, or you want to gain weight or put muscle on, that's actually okay. Like, you are allowed to have that as a goal. If it's just aesthetics, if that's what motivates you, go for it, you do you. But I just think on like a deeper level, you need to start building those habits early on. You don't want to not prioritize your health and your fitness and then get to like, I don't know, your 50s, your back's hurting and like you genuinely don't know where to start from. And also make it fun, but find out what figures and what works for you. I love doing classes. I don't really like being in the gym because I feel like I waste so much time going from machine to machine, and that just isn't me. Like, I want to do my home workouts. I love having a mat, being able to do like gentle workouts, or even if it's a HIIT workout, I love being able to do it in my own space. I don't like going to the gym and being told, or like not knowing what I'm doing. I feel like I waste lots of time. In that time that I'm thinking of what to do next, I get so like demotivated. So that's just my personal preference. You might have your own preference. A lot of people prefer going to the gym because obviously you can use muscles, you can use weights and lots of different things. Just you do you, just don't let it slide with your fitness, okay? Even if it's just walking, you don't forget the workouts, forget like anything fancy, just go for daily walks. Not only is this going to improve your mental health and like your emotional well-being, but yeah, you're just going to be able to like do stuff. Like whenever I've let my fitness slip for a couple of months or whatever, I start getting such bad back pain, and then I realized that like my mood drops, and then I'm like, why is my mood, like why am I annoyed? And it's literally because I'm waking up in pain and my back is just not the same. It's not what it used to be. Or my knees are hurting and I'm like, what is this? The moment I start like working out again, all of that vanishes. Like, I'm not even kidding. And I literally work with GPs on a daily basis. The one thing they say that they would give to people as a pill, if they could prescribe it, is exercise. So like, there's definitely so many benefits. And the thing is, we know what these benefits are. When it gets to doing it, that's a whole other issue. But please let it be a priority. Like, I'm literally preaching to myself here. I recently started getting back into working out. What I'm using at the moment is something called the FIIT app, and it's so good because honestly, I've not worked out properly or consistently in about 6 months. Like, I'm ashamed to say it, but it's true. And I've been using this app, and you can basically choose what level you're on. So I've just been doing like the basic plan, which is like to get your fitness up, and it's on the beginner level. So it's like super easy, but for me, it's kind of a challenge because I'm building it up. But honestly, just having like doing that 20 or 25 minutes a day has massively improved my mood. Like your confidence is up, like you feel comfortable in yourself. So it's definitely worth investing into, and don't put it on the back burner thinking that it's not important, because it definitely is. That's it from me, guys. Those are 6 quick tips that I hope has actually helped you. If it has, leave a comment down below. If you're someone who's kind of in the same stage as I am, or you're older, please drop down any advice that you would also give to like your younger self or to anyone in their 20s. I find it fascinating, so much so that I even have a podcast where I'm basically interviewing people to find out what it is they're doing that makes them successful. I love speaking to people and picking their brains and like getting the advice. So if you're interested, then please follow us on sundayevening.co on Instagram. Please don't forget as well to like, comment and subscribe. Anything I learn, as per usual, I'll be sharing with you guys. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you soon.